Another video from Fast Tech. In this one we're going to be disassembling an original Xbox One. I'm going to be disassembling everything out of the system. I'm going to be taking out the disk drive, the motherboard, everything, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace each item as I go along, and how to replace each item if it fails, which it eventually will. And this is again for the original Xbox One console, which would be the first gen model 1540. It says at the back. These are the first gen Xbox series. Before we start, please make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. That helps us out a lot. It costs you nothing, but it helps us out a lot in the YouTube algorithm. So I would really appreciate it if you guys would go ahead and drop that like. And also follow me on Instagram. I post a lot of stories and a lot of updates on there. I'll put a link in the description box for that as well. Also check out our Fast Tech Instagram page, where we post up a lot of memes and you guys might find some of them entertaining. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the top panel right here, and we can do that by getting a knife, and you just stick your knife in here at the front and you just lift it up and it's going to come right off. This is the panel that's going to come off. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this piece here. We're going to lift up the sync button, and at the same time we're just going to pull this piece out. It's going to come out like that. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to push this side down. All right, all the way down. And then it's gonna get separated like that. And then once it's separated, you stick your finger in there in the back. We're gonna lift up the case. All right, we're gonna just kind of yank and pull on it. There's other ways to do it, but this is the easiest. All right, we're gonna be very careful here before you separate the rest of it. All right. You don't want to use too much pressure, because if you use too much pressure and you pull too hard, the ribbon cable under the faceplate is going to snap, because the faceplate is still connected to the case. So be very careful here. At this point, you want to put some pressure with the elbow on the front so that part doesn't get yanked too fast. And then just like that. But at the same time, you want to keep this still at the front, because as you're gonna see, there's a cable here up front that we don't want to break. That cable right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift up the front of the cable, and there's a clip here. I hope you guys can see it. There's a clip here that we're gonna pull on, and that clip's gonna come out, and then this cable is gonna get separated. Now to separate the faceplate from the case, which you might have to do, because lots of times if there's no power, there's no beep, this cable lots of times gets snapped and you might have to replace the faceplate. So I'm going to show you guys how to take it off. There's clips here, you can just lift them up, and as you're doing that, put some pressure on the faceplate, pulling it outwards. And now the faceplate separated from the case, and we sell this part on our website, links in the description box. And for the rest of the job, we're going to use our Fast Tech Pro toolkit, which includes the T8 and the T10 bits that you need to disassemble this Xbox. Links are in the description box. You can use the coupon code YouTube for a discount. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this network adapter, and we're going to need a T8 from our kit. That's the network adapter right there. If you're having Wi-Fi issues, or if your controller is not connecting to your console at all, you need to replace this network adapter. Also, if your Wi-Fi list is not showing up at all, you need to replace this adapter. Links in the description box. We sell this on our website as well. We're going to remove the 2 screws that hold it in. We're going to lift up this antenna cable here. We're going to lift out this network adapter. Next, we're going to remove the antenna cable from the front. And then we're gonna remove these Torx T10 screws that hold the case on. We're gonna switch to our T10 bit. Before we remove the case, we have to disconnect the speaker at the front. This is the speaker that makes that beep sound when you press the power button. There's a connector here at the front. We're gonna lift it up. And now we're just gonna lift up this panel here. There's another cable underneath. We're gonna have to remove this cable here. Lifting it up, and now this panel has been removed. All right, so now we have access to all the internal parts. This is the hard drive, that's the disk drive, this is obviously the fan. So if you're getting an error E10X, it starts with an E10 something, it's most likely caused by a bad hard drive. We've done a dedicated video on this, including in detail how to replace the hard drive, how to reinstall the software. If you haven't checked that out, do check that out if you need to replace the hard drive, because along with just replacing the hard drive, there's a couple other steps that you might have to do. We sell these hard drives pre-prepped on our website, so you don't have to, you can skip those steps. And generally speaking, most of the times, if you just pop in one of our hard drives, it's gonna fix your issue. But sometimes you would have to put the software on a USB stick and do it manually. I'm not sure why that happens, but it just happens with some systems. I think it might be certain older dashboards that you have to use a USB with. So to remove the hard drive, we're gonna remove these two cables. There's a SATA cable and a power cable. We're gonna lift them up, and the hard drive caddy should be free. To remove the hard drive from its caddy, we're gonna use a T10 screwdriver from our Fast Tech Pro kit. Remove these T10 screws. And now our hard drive should be free. This is the SATA connector. And surprise, surprise, we also sell this on our website. We've been selling a lot of these lately for Xbox One S models. I don't know why people lose these, but if you have an idea of why people are losing their SATA connectors and they have to buy them from us, leave a comment, let me know. Next, we're gonna remove the disk drive. And to do that, we're gonna remove the SATA cable and the power cable. And the disk drive is gonna come out. That's the disk drive right there. It has this piece on the back which we can remove by pushing it off like that. There's clips here that we can remove. And that's the disk drive. Now guys, to replace the disk drive, you can't just take this disk drive and put another one in. You're gonna have to open up this disk drive, take out the logic board, and install it into your new Xbox One disk drive if you're replacing a disk drive on this. Because if you do it without swapping your old logic board, putting your old logic board in the new disk drive, your disk drive replacement is not going to work, and you're going to be commenting on our video. So make sure you retain your old logic board. Next, we're going to remove the mid frame and the motherboard from the bottom end of the case. And that's the bottom end of the case. It's accumulated some dust over the years, but that's understandable. Next, we're gonna remove the RF board at the front. This is also where the faceplate connects. Now, sometimes if you're getting Wi-Fi issues or Bluetooth issues with your controller, it could be this RF board, but most likely it is that Wi-Fi module that I showed you guys in the beginning, but in some cases, it could be this because it boosts the signal from the Wi-Fi board. So if replacing the Wi-Fi board doesn't work, you might have to replace this. And to replace this, all you have to do is switch to a T8 in our Fast Tech Pro kit and remove these screws. Once the screws are removed, we're gonna be able to lift this board out like that. And that's the RF board. Links in the description box if you need one. Next, we're gonna remove these two pieces here. All you gotta do is pinch this plastic piece here, and these are gonna come out. There's another one here that has a Torx T8 screw. These are the pieces that the long bolts go through to hold the case on. Now we're gonna get the motherboard out of the frame, and there's a couple of screws, well, more than a couple, that we're gonna have to remove. These ones are Torx T10s and these are Torx T8s. Alright, now our motherboard should be free. We're going to grab it by the heatsink and lift it up. At this point, we're going to remove the fan. And guys, you could have removed the fan as soon as we removed the top shield off the system. So to remove the fan, we're going to unplug this connector. There's clips on the sides here that we're going to have to disengage. All you got to do is lift up the clip here like that, slightly, not too much. You're gonna break it, and then when the clips are up, you just lift the freaking thing up like that, and now the fan's gonna come off. If your Xbox shuts off and you get the Xbox One overheating message after, and it keeps doing the same thing, one of two things is happening. Either this heatsink is blocked or this fan is dead and not spinning. These fans are prone to failure. The coil fails in them. I've seen it a few times. I've replaced a lot of these, particularly on the first gen Xbox Ones. So to replace this, all you gotta do is remove it and put the new one on. It's clips, you just push it back down, put the connector in, and again, links in the description box if you wanna buy one. Now we're gonna remove the heatsink from the APU chip, and there's a X clamp, just like with the 360s. Microsoft sure loves using these X clamps in their systems, despite all the problems that they cause. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna switch to a flathead from our FastTech Pro toolkit. We're gonna put our flathead in here like this, and then just pry the clamp off. Be very slow with this process, don't rush. I make it look easy because I've done this a million times. You guys need to take your time with this. When it's off, lift it up gently. There's very sensitive circuitry here that you don't want to fuck up. Then you're gonna flip the motherboard over. We're gonna remove the heatsink, and the APU chip is gonna be exposed. There's some dust in here that actually we're not gonna bother cleaning out because this is a Xbox One that we're parting out for parts. So this is never gonna go back together. So we're not gonna bother cleaning this. You guys should use a compressed air can if your heatsink is this dirty. We sell compressed air cans on our website as well. Links in the description box. And that's the Xbox One original motherboard right there. The model number on this is an X884498-001 Rev G. Surprise, surprise, we also sell these on our website, links in the description box. So with the motherboard out, that would be the last component we can remove from this Xbox. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Check out my vlog channel in which I travel the world and record all my crazy adventures. And don't forget guys, if you need any of the parts that you saw today, or our FastTech Pro Toolkit, which you're going to need to disassemble your Xbox One or any other electronic device, check us out at fasttechstore.com or the links in the description box or the top comment. This is Young Tech God from FastTech signing out.